On the last episode of this series, I looked at Michael Stackpole, specifically to rank his Star Wars Legends novels based on the user ratings and reviews they received from the five major websites that do user ratings for books, in a series E by the numbers. This data I collected over 2 years ago for a series of articles for the expandeduniverse.com. If you want more information on that, how I collected and calculated these numbers, you can go to the link in the pinned comments. But for now, I want to talk about the next author we're going to be covering, James Luceno. Just some stats for him before we get started. He wrote 8 novels for Star Wars Legends. Note, this list will only contain his novels for Star Wars Legends. His Star Wars canon books will not be referenced as or mentioned because they are beyond the scope of this series. That actually puts him at tied for 6th amongst all adult authors and tied for 11th overall. Both of those ties are with Michael Stackpole, who I covered in the previous episode, who also has 8 novels. He has an average of 3.85 star rating, which puts him at 24th. This is how many stars on average he was given out of 5 on his books, as each of these websites uses a 5-star rating scale. The total number of user ratings, or how many people left a rating or a review on his novels, is 73,892, which puts him at 6th. And if you take that ratings per book, he has 9,236.5, which puts him at 13th. Writing for Star Wars Legends, he was active from 2000 till 2012. Now, coming in at number 8, we have Cloak of Deception, which came out on Tuesday, the 29th of May, 2001. Note, some of these dates do vary based on the source. A lot of the sources don't agree on, especially with the earlier books, when they actually came out. For the purposes of this list, I'm using the dates from Amazon, as that seems to be the one that has the closest dates, but for some of these dates, we just don't know exactly when they came out. This was a star rating of 3.53, with a total user ratings of 5,699, and an overall ranking of 140 out of the 160 Star Wars Legends adult novels. Now, at number 7, we have Agents of Chaos 2 Jedi Eclipse, the second book in the Agents of Chaos duology for A New Jedi Order, which came out on Tuesday, the 3rd of October 2000. It's with a star rating of 3.66. User ratings, it had 6,631. And in overall ranking, it had 121st out of the 160 adult Star Wars Legends novels. At number 6, we have the first book in the Agents of Chaos duology, Hero's Trial, which came out on Tuesday, the 1st of August 2000. It's with a star rating of 3.71. Total user ratings it got was 7,681, and an overall ranking of 112 out of 160 adult Star Wars Legends novels. At number 5, cracking into the top 5, we have Millennium Falcon, which came out on Wednesday, the 22nd of October 2008. It's with a star rating of 3.85. Total user ratings, it had 4,688, and an overall ranking of 87th out of 160. At number 4, we have the prequel to Revenge of the Sith, Labyrinth of Evil, which came out on Wednesday, the 5th of January 2005. It's with a star rating of 3.88, 7,414 user ratings, and 76th out of the 160 adult novels. At third, we have the sequel to Revenge of the Sith, Dark Lord, The Rise of Darth Vader, which came out on Tuesday, the 22nd of November 2005. It's with a star rating of 3.94. Total user ratings, it got 9,171, and an overall ranking of 57 out of 160. At number 2, we have the epic conclusion to The New Jedi Order, The Unifying Force, which came out on Tuesday, the 4th of November 2003. It's with a star rating of 3.99, total user ratings of 7,425, and an overall ranking of 38th out of 160. And finally, in the number 1 spot, we have Darth Plagueis, which came out on Tuesday, the 10th of January 2012. It's with a star rating of 4.22. Total user ratings, it has 25,183, and is overall ranked 10th out of the 160 Star Wars Legends adult novels, just cracking into the top 10. going over some charts, very interesting things with James Luceno here. If you look at his star ratings over time, each of these data points representing one of the books, you can see a general upward trend. His first three novels had a downward trend, but right when The Unifying Force came out, it really blew those first three, the Agents of Chaos duology and Cloak of Deception, out of the water. His next three books, the prequel and sequel to Revenge of the Sith and Millennium Falcon, kind of skirted around that line, and then you just have Darth Plagueis coming out and blowing everything out of the water. What's really interesting is that when we look at the ratings over time, again, all of his novels seem to be about within the average of the 6,000 to 8,000 ratings per book, which is, again, about the average of what Legends does. And then Darth Plagueis just goes right up to over 25K. The which puts it in the top five of all the Star Wars novels in total ratings. Only really the Thrawn trilogy beats it out, which its lowest has 50,000, but still being half of the Thrawn trilogy is pretty impressive. And this actually does an interesting thing with his data. So for all of them, when I'm talking about the overall ranking uh, of the authors, I'm simply doing a simple average of if they had eight. In Luceno's case, if he has 8 books, uh, I simply add all of the star ratings that he got for each of these books and divide by 8. But I also calculated them using weighted averages. This is to essentially give more weight to the books that had a higher number of user ratings. Basically, if a book had, let's say, 4 stars and 10,000 people left a rating, you would do the 4 times 10,000 to say that it got 40,000 total stars. And then another book had 3.5, but only 1,000. You would multiply that by 3.5 by 1,000 to get 3,500. Add up those two and then divide by the total number of 1,100 to get the weighted average. That would basically give, again, more weight to the books that had more people leaving reviews. When you do it for that, James Luceno actually has a 3.95, which is a tenth of a star higher than his normal weighted average, which puts him at 13, about 10 spots higher as well. That is actually the highest difference between his normal average and his weighted average of 2.5%. Only Ryder Whittam and Alan Dean Foster have a difference between their normal and weighted average over 2. And what that basically means is what you see on the chart. That all three of those authors had one novel that was a significant outlier from the rest of them when it comes to the number of people leaving a rating. Basically, significantly more people left a star rating on one book than the rest of them, and that same book either got a significantly higher or lower score, which caused a bigger difference in their overall average when you, again, wait for the books that have more ratings. Just, again, more interesting things with statistics that you can that we can show by just looking at user ratings on Star Wars books. So that does it for this episode. Thank you very much for watching. Please let you know who you want to see next. The only two left I have are Sean Williams and Drew Karpyshyn, as they are the last two that have written at least 5 Star Wars Legends novels. Thank you for watching, and as always, take